It's rather small, but it's pretty accurate, and it's a prep that could save your life. Today we're taking a look at this digital air quality meter. Alright everybody, welcome back. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. We hear so many times when people are doing videos about using Coleman stoves indoors or other camp stoves, or they always say be careful of the carbon monoxide you're generating inside your home. Well, this is an extremely accurate, very easy to use air quality detector that will tell you, first line right here, your CO or carbon monoxide levels. That's parts per million right there. Pretty low in here right now. We're going to do some stuff to bump it up. As a side note, if you really want to laugh, before I shot this video I had to sharpen my pocket knife. And I use hops number 9 to clean off. This is my little work sharp. I use hops number 9 to clean it off after there's too much metal on there from sharpening knives on the ceramic edge. And I'll tell you, I sprayed that stuff onto a rag, and this thing shot into the 700s. So it's not a good idea to be breathing that stuff long term. At least without adequate ventilation. Now in here I have pretty good ventilation. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to test this thing out with the CO detector here. I got a little bit of a feather stick going on there. And I'm going to light this and just blow it out and blow some smoke over there and see how well that works. But I wanted to give you a little information about this first. I want to bring it up a little closer to the camera so you can see. You have your temperature in Celsius, your relative humidity, your HCHO, and we'll get into what that is in a minute, your CO2, and your carbon monoxide. So it will give you an adequate view on what's going on around you as far as your air quality inside. I do have some of that hops number 9 on there, and you can see it's jumping back up again. There is a reset button on here, all right, as well as a new button, which will clear everything and start new, so it will keep records. Now, if you want to go back and look at it, you can look at the historical data from it. It is rechargeable. You can take this with you on a trip. Plug it in. It's a USB-C plug. Plug it in there on the side, and that will run for a good 10 to 12 hours inside your tent. So if you're using a wood stove inside your tent, and you have a stove jack and you're burning wood inside, good way to keep an eye on your CO levels, your carbon monoxide levels, and make sure that you're staying safe. Another thing I like about it is the display itself. To me, it almost reminds me of like a stock ticker or something, one of those old school 80s kind of stock tickers that they'd have on the table somewhere in a restaurant. They used to carry around these devices when I lived in New York City and worked down by Wall Street. Everybody that was coming in for lunch had these devices that were keeping an eye on the stock market during lunch. So it kind of reminds me of those things, but it's a nice big display. You can hang that up or put that up somewhere in your tent and constantly see it. If your tent has a little mesh on the top of it, you can face it down towards you like that. The area you're going to be most concerned with picking up the stuff is back here. So you don't want to fully block that off. And it does have a little bit of an angle to it, so it sits up facing you. So that's kind of nice to see. The battery capacity on this is 850 milliamp hours. So you got a good long run time. Your charging time takes about 3 hours to charge it fully. The working voltage is of course 5 volts. Detectable substances are CO, CO2, HCOHO, TVOC, and AQI. We'll get into all that stuff in a second. I'll tell you what that is for those of you that don't know, because heck, some of the stuff I didn't know and I had to look up. And it's a pretty simple device to use. First off, we know what carbon monoxide is, okay? And carbon dioxide, we know what that is. We breathe it. But the next question is, what is HCHO? Probably never heard of it that way. Well, the answer is it's formaldehyde. Now, formaldehyde is an organic air pollutant containing 1 atom of carbon, 1 atom of oxygen, 2 atoms of hydrogen. It has the chemical formula of HCHO, or some people will call it CH2O. Formaldehyde is present in the outdoor air. It's present outside. You're going to run into it. Commonly, people think of formaldehyde when they think of embalming bodies and stuff like that. But you're going to run into it. It's in pressed wood. It's in some plastics. It's in some organic stuff. Again, when I sprayed that hops number 9, this stuff shot up to like 800 or 900. So it got very, very high. I'm sorry, down here. Shot up to 821 or 825, I believe. Didn't go over, 0.825. So it did shoot up. So it's present in a lot of chemical substances. As long as you're not sitting there breathing it in constantly, you're not going to have a problem. You just need to be aware of it and careful. Not only is it in many household products, but it's used in pressed wood products such as particle board, plywood, fiberboard, certain glues and adhesives have it. There's stuff there. So when you see that as a higher level than 0.19, don't freak out. It is in our environment, okay? And it is a potentially cancer-causing, according to the CDC, which I don't know how much trust we have in them lately, but according to them, you can see that it is a, they say it's a cancer-causing environment or could lead to cancer. So it's a good thing to know what's going on in your environment as well as that too. Not only can you keep an eye on the carbon monoxide levels, but you can also see how much formaldehyde and other pollutants are in the area. So, next up was TVOC, okay? Now, TVOC is total volatile organic compounds, commonly referred to as bad stuff in the air, okay? These are organic compounds that easily become vapors or gases. Along with carbon, they contain elements such as hydrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromide, sulfur, and nitrogen. So you will be able to kind of see, how am I doing all together? Is this a safe place for me to camp, say? And when I'm set up and it's a safe place to camp, how's my CO levels? How's my carbon monoxide levels in here while I'm burning this wood? So it's definitely a handy thing to have with you. Also, too, like I tell people a lot, if you're burning a stove indoors, a gas stove, propane stove, whatever, you want to have adequate ventilation, and this can ensure that. That will let you know that your area is safe. Now, a lot of people rely on carbon monoxide detectors. Okay, those are great, don't get me wrong, and they're handy to have for just every day. But if I have to set up in my kitchen with two camp stoves and maybe a little isobutane burner on the side, making some coffee, I want to know that I'm not poisoning my household. You know what I mean? So it's handy to have. It's definitely a cool thing to have for a little more of an advanced prep, but definitely a cool thing to have for your home during emergency. It's also handy to let you know if your furnace has gone bad, if something's going wrong somewhere. Definitely a way to know that. So what we're going to do, like I said, I've got this little feather stick here. I hope this is going to be able to give me some results. I'm going to light it on fire, and then I'm going to blow it out and blow smoke over here. And we're going to see how that lifts up the CO levels and the CO2 levels and see how it affects everything. So give me a second to get that going, and I'll bring you right back. Get that going there. I may not have to blow it out. It may just go out on its own. Put that over there and see what kind of reaction we're going to get. Whoop, yep, there we go. See it shooting up? Now, nowhere near critical levels, but you see it shot up to 124, 137. And remember, there's a 0 in front there. It's a 0167. You see your HCHO levels, your CO2 levels going up. So you can see, I'll try to blow a little more on it, that it actually does work, it does go up. And you can also see the effects of anything burning in your house, like a gas stove or something, on that little meter. So let's try it with an isobutane stove and see how much of a difference there is. Alright, so as you noticed, you're hearing a little bit of wind noise back there. That's because I opened up the garage door and opened up the side door, and you notice it's dropping down now, getting that smoke smell out of the room. So it's dropping down. So next we're going to try up an isobutane stove here. I don't think this is going to have as dramatic effect. It might, but I don't think it's going to have as dramatic effect as the other one did. So let's fire that up. Let me close the garage door up so we get a little bit of condensation in here, And as you can tell, it's kind of jumping up a little bit from before it went up to 20, but not bad. I mean, there's still a little bit of residual smell from that wood smoke, but now it's dropped down. So let's fire this up and see. See if that has any real effect. I see it going up a little bit. I hope you can see that behind there. I'm trying to kind of keep it nearby. And obviously, this isn't anywhere near as bad as a wood fire in your home, of course. This would be something interesting to try, say, in a fireplace, when you run a fireplace, to see how it does. But as you can tell, I'm going to even try to move this in the front here. As you can tell, I don't know if you can see that. Let me back you up. Yeah, it's like 17.000015. So it's fairly low. Your HCHO levels are also very, very low on this. So you can tell you could run this a whole lot longer than, say, running a wood fire indoors. But definitely a very handy device, very lightweight. I would say it's maybe 4 or 5 ounces. Not a heavy device at all. Very simply made, and definitely a device that could really save your life in a pinch. So I'm very pleased with it. This is the box it comes in. Very, very simple. You know, nothing fancy. It does come with a plug. It is a USB-C plug on the side, and it's very, very easy to use. Really, you know, very intuitive. There's not really anything major difficult about using this. So I would definitely recommend it for folks who are concerned, especially, again, if you live in a smaller apartment, a smaller area, you're going to run stoves, you're going to possibly have a fireplace, you're going to maybe do some wood-burning stove inside your tent with a stove jack, done correctly, of course. You want to keep an eye on the CO levels and your HCHO levels, and it also has a temperature and relative humidity on there too, so that's kind of handy, just as a side note, for you to be able to see what's going on with the weather. So I like it. All in all, I really do like it. It is a steal right now. $20.99, 21 bucks. Can't beat it. I mean, that is just an awesome price for something so very, very important. And as you can see, I've run this the whole time that we've been here, and no problems with battery life. I've been running this out here. I actually have charged it once. I ran it continuously out here for about 2 days just to see how it would work, and never had an issue with it. You just charge it up on the side. Over here, I don't know if you can see the LEDs. You'll see that little green. I don't know, can you see that? There's a little green right there. Sort of. Yeah, there you go. When it goes down here to yellow, it gets a little lower, and then it goes to red. When you're charging, it's going to go red, yellow, green, like a little indicator there saying it's charging up. So definitely easy to see if it's fully charged or not. And a very handy thing. I actually got to say the air quality out here is a whole lot better than I thought it would be. I thought this out here with all my chemicals and my gun cleaning stuff and all my projects and everything, I thought it was going to be a whole lot worse. But you're going to be seeing this in a lot more videos, especially with heaters and propane use and stuff like that. You're going to be seeing this a lot more kind of in the background, just to let us know if we have a safe level or if things are going to be a problem. Just for your information, folks, with the link down below here, the link will be down below. It's on Banggood. I have purchased a ton of stuff since I discovered them. I really, really like their stuff. And things like this is something like, if I could have asked somebody for a perfect product, this would be it. It's rechargeable, sits right here on my desk. I can keep an eye on things when I'm working with chemicals or anything. And it's definitely a handy little device to have around, and it could save my life. You know, if I'm out here and there's a high level of carbon monoxide and I don't know it, you know, that's why they call it the silent killer. Odorless, tasteless, just happens. Next thing you know, you pass out. So, definitely a handy device to have. I will put the link down below. Like I said, it's on Banggood. I've never had any issues ordering from them. They actually have gotten the stuff to me very, very quickly, unlike other sites that I won't mention that take like a month and a half to get it to me. Stuff comes very quickly and it's very good quality. And I've only had one issue with something, and I mentioned it to them, and they immediately sent me a return and replaced it. No questions asked. So never really had any issues with them, and I really like doing business with them. The link will be down below, like I said. The size on this is really, really small, very handy. As you can see, I could just grab this and carry it with me. No problem at all. So I like it. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Don't forget to check all our links down below. We have our Amazon affiliate store, our freeze-dried wholesalers link. Don't forget to hit that up. You get 15% discount just for clicking that link. And he has a ton of stuff there. And he has the stock to keep going. That's very important. It may not all be freeze-dried at the moment, but he's got the stock on stock to keep going. I mean, we're talking cargo loads of this stuff, train loads of this stuff. So don't worry about purchasing from him. Might take maybe 2 or 3 extra days if something isn't freeze-dried yet, but you'll still get it very, very quickly, unlike the other big names in freeze-dried food that just seem to run out and don't bother replacing it. So don't forget to check him out. Don't forget to check out our My Patriot Supply. That's preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com, and our Thrive Life freeze-dried store down below. Notice I got a few more people that are interested in getting delivery. I've been answering some questions for them, so thank you for your interest, and don't forget to check them out too. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.